What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. As I sit here right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 14 days, just 2 weeks out from the NFL draft. We are 2 weeks away, and I've been profiling Pittsburgh this whole time, talking about their free agents, who they've gotten, who they've lost, who they should sign, who they could trade for, all of these things, and I've started to profile the Pittsburgh Steelers' potential draft picks who could reasonably be available at 20 and kind of who they should profile and who they should look at as their possible first-round pick. I did 2 previous videos, one that was posted last week, so go check that out on this channel, talking about cornerback Cooper DeJean and why I think he's the best cornerback in this class and why he's the one guy at corner Pittsburgh should maybe consider at 20. I just cut a video that's probably gone up by the time you see this, maybe a few days ago. So go back and check out that video where I profile Amarius Mims and talk about the other 2 big tackles that could be there at 20 as well, J.C. Latham and Talisi Fuaga. And I talk about all 3 of those guys and how I rank them and where I put them as far as importance as potential first-round picks, talking about the importance along with center. Now, today I am going with what I very much consider, and most of you, I think, watching this consider, as the biggest hole on our team right now, the most important thing to profile and prioritize in this draft in the first round, and that's the center position. We let go of Mason Cole, obviously, he's still out there. There's a couple other free agent centers that are out there, but they've been injured recently, coming off of injuries, so there's no sure thing right now at center. We have James Daniels, who plays guard for us, but can play center if need be. We have, guys like Spencer Anderson, guys like Nate Herbig, who can play center and play swing guard and stuff like that if need be in a pinch. But I don't think our starting center that we want to be a full-time starting center is on this roster right now. So we need to add somebody via draft. And again, why I prioritize center over something like tackle and corner and receiver is because all 3 of those things, there are much more depth and much more high level of skill going into the first, second, and third rounds in those positions than there are at center. There are what I perceive for the last few months as two first-round, high-end, high-quality, day one starting centers in this draft. Now, apparently, there are 3, because there's one climbing the draft board really high and almost kind of exchanging spots with my guy here. This guy is my number 1 dream pick. If I was putting together a dream draft of the best players to fill our positions with the best possible guys and steals and values in each round, Jackson Powers Johnson, the center out of Oregon, is my number 1 guy. He's played elsewhere on the line, but he's a true center. He is a big, gigantic guy. He's powerful. He's fairly athletic, not super athletic, but powerful. He's got strength and technique. He plays fierce. I love Jackson Powers Johnson, and if I was crafting this draft, this is my number 1 guy that I'm going after in the first round. He could feasibly be there at 20, but for some reason, over the past week or so, he's been sliding down the draft board, and guys like Zach Frazier and suddenly Duke's Graham Barton have been sliding up the draft board. I didn't prioritize Barton as much as I did Powers Johnson and Frazier. To me, in the pecking order of centers, it was Jackson Powers Johnson was always here. Zach Frazier was kind of a slight dip to second, and then there was a big dip to third for guys like Van Pran Granger and Graham Barton and all that. So it was first, second, third, and fourth. We're down here. All of a sudden, Graham Barton is kind of up there, hovering right around the late first round, early second round pick conversation, which is very interesting to me. Quickly profiling Powers Johnson, and more of the reason why I love this guy so much, really strong hands. The guy's got a big, good physical frame, and his hands are really, really strong. Similar in a lot of ways to the last guy in the last video I talked about, Amarius Mims. He's a big, wide, strong guy with jabbing hands, good hand technique, good hand placement, and just physical pushing through blocks. I love to see that. His upper body is the best overall at center in this class, and his pass blocking is probably the best of all centers in this class. His one big negative is his bend is not great. His lower body bend is not very good. He is a blocker from up top. He doesn't have a ton of bender flexibility in his lower body, and that may get him trailing when he falls behind on a block or he gets beaten by a move. Having him kind of reset himself and use his legs to get back into the play might be a little tough. That's the one knock on him. But I really like Powers Johnson overall. Looking again at the other 2 guys to look at in the first round, and this is interesting because if you don't get Powers Johnson at 20, if he goes, or if you draft somebody else at 20, and then he gets drafted. Because you have to get a center in the first 2 picks. Hopefully, one of these 3 guys is there for us at least by pick 2. I would prioritize this in round 1. My answer to should the Steelers draft in this video, Powers Johnson or a center, is yes. There are only 3 you can draft. I think if you start getting down to 2nd or 3rd round and you're getting into guys like Van Pran Granger and guys like that, they're not bad. They're definitely not bad players, but you need a day 1 starter who can be drafted as a rookie and come in here and start as of right now. Yeah, you could bring another veteran in, but they're coming in off of injuries, or you're bringing back a Mason Cole. You don't want someone like that starting on day 1, or they can't. You need this rookie to come in and start day 1. Could a Van Pran Granger or even a Graham Barton start day 1? I don't know. That being said, Graham Barton has got really high marks lately from the NFL draft boards overall. But in 2023, Jackson Powers Johnson not only was the first-team All-American consensus center selected, the best center in the nation, but he won the Remington Trophy for best center in the nation. So he, to me, is the clear number 1. It is now turning into a toss-up for number 2 between West Virginia's Zach Frazier and Duke's Graham Barton. Barton's got more positional flexibility. I think Frazier's the better overall player. But again, you cannot leave round 2 without having gotten a center in one of the first 2 rounds. So I would prioritize Powers Johnson. And then the question becomes, if Johnson goes before 20, do you reach up a little bit and take a guy who maybe might go at 30 or 31 at center? Do you take a Frazier or Barton who might go between pick number 28 and pick number 40, because you're not picking again until 47, 48. So do you grab a guy early because you lost your first guy? I think we have to go center here, first round. So the answer for me is yes. What do you guys think about the center rankings? Is Powers Johnson still first? I have Powers Johnson at 1, Zach Frazier at 2, and Barton at 3. Have you guys kind of changed your tune? Johnson slid down a little bit. Barton slid up a little bit. What do you think of the top 3 centers, and how do you rank them? And do you risk waiting until round 2 to get a center? Do you settle for a round 3 center and prioritize other things like tackle, corner, and receiver first? What do you think? Tell me in the comments down below what you think of this profile, who you'd go after positional-wise, which center you would take and how you would rank those centers, and where you can get the best one available for you, and how soon should you get it. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you like these deep dives, go back and check out my Cooper DeJean video, my Amarius Mims and offensive tackle video. Check out this center video. And the next time you see me on here doing Steeler coverage, it very well could be my 3 mock drafts where I rank my favorite to least favorite, but all the possibilities to cover all these positions we need in my mock drafts. Come back soon, and I'll see you guys later. Go Steelers.